everything is referred to by ID values that we point to. So I'm going to create a new patient now. I'm going to click on the hash sign or number sign here, and this is going to create a new patient record. For this person, we have 3 choices that they can be, and they can be any of all or all of them. I'm going to say this person is a patient, and it brings down his permanent ID into the patient tab. I'm going to say this person is also the responsible party, who's going to be responsible for paying the bills. And I'm going to say this person is also the subscriber insured who has the insurance policy, okay?
Okay.
Now, in the case of a spouse or a child, the responsible party or the subscriber insured can be somebody else. And you would enter in a record at this time for that person and specify their ID here for the, for the responsible party and subscriber insured. But for this patient, we're going to say that they are all 3.
Okay.
So I'm gonna enter in their demographics right now. And I'm just going to put in yes. We have a zip code table in here, so if you just put in the zip code, it'll bring up the associated city along with it, and then it populates the city and state down here. Date of birth is, we have a calendar that pops up. Unfortunately, the calendar defaults to today, and not all your patients are born today, so we just type it in. It automatically calculates the age then based on the date. We have a drop down for gender. We'll make him a male today. Marital status. This is a table that has some of the common descriptions, and you can add to it if you would choose to. We'll make him married. Social Security number is your standard. It'll go out and make sure that there is no other patient with the same Social Security number in the system. Phone numbers you can put in, cell phone, email if you want, employer if it's important to you. Language preference, we'll give him English. Since we made him the responsible party up here, we have to enter a responsible party default fee schedule. We have in the system over 16,000 procedure codes, and each procedure code has an associated, well, if you activate it, because not all of them will be active in your clinics. If you activate it, you give it a fee, and that fee can vary depending on a fee schedule that you set up. Excuse me. So we're going to go in and we're going to say we want to use a default fee schedule to start with. Now this can be, you can change to other ones. This is any way you want to do it, but typically we just have the default fee schedule. Responsible party classification is the next tab. We have the ability to allow you to mine your data for different reports and some of that, or segregate on reports. So you can give the responsible party any type of classification you want. This is strictly a table that is user defined. You can put whatever you want in there, and then if you needed to sort something later on this, you can. I want all the responsible parties, whose ID is or whose description is, and you can subset your data that way. Right now, we don't have anything on the demo system. Sorry about that. HIPAA notice date is put in the date when they signed their notice. Patient classification is the same thing as responsible party. You can put whatever classification types you want in there for data sorting. We've got this is basically your standard patient demographics, okay? Now we go into the coverage case tab. This is where you set up you describe the different ways that you can get paid if there's more than one, for example. The coverage case title is anything you want to call it. A lot of people will call it primary, like for primary insurance, and you can put in here, for example, you want the effective and termination dates are used to prevent you from using this coverage outside of the date. So if you had a date of service that was before the effective date or a date of service after the termination date, you would not be able to use this particular case coverage on that. If you leave it blank, there is no bounds checking. The next tab we go to would be responsible party, and since we checked his box on the first page, it automatically brings his ID forward and say he is a responsible party. Financial class is another data sorting field. You can use it in any way you want. We've had some people that they may want to, for certain reasons, define their patients by their annual income. So you could have annual income, like 10 to 20,000, 20 to 30. However you want to use it in the financial class is another sorting field for you. Billing provider is who's going to be doing who's the provider that's going to be actually doing the work. And this comes from the table of providers that are entered in for the clinic. Here we've got 7 of them in here. I just happen to, Callie Blair is the one we stood before for a demo system, so I always pick on her. Facility. If you have one or more facilities, you can enter in which facility this patient is normally going to be seen at. Again, this is all information that's set up that you can be overridden at the time of an appointment or something like that. But this is your standard setup. So they're going to be at the Radical Medical Clinic. Referring doctor, if you have one, you click on their ID. So now we go down to the insurance company. This is a table that has to be populated by the clinic. We do not provide insurance company information as part of a default setup. So you'd enter in the insurance information, and for the clearinghouses we support Office Ally, Avality, Optum, Trizetto, Endion. You would select what clearinghouse you'd be using over here, and put in the appropriate submission and remittance IDs. We're going to go with Aetna here, since that's what I said he was using. That fills it in. And if I click on the subscriber insured, since I clicked on the checkbox on the general tab, it brings his ID in. It tells me that his relationship is himself. I'll just put in some numbers in here. So I've got a coverage case. Now let's say we have let's say that this patient also has a workers' comp case possible. I can come up in this tab over here, and I can create another case. And I'm just going to leave it blank here for the moment. What this does for you now is when you enter a charge and they have more than one coverage, you have to select which coverage the charge would fall under. Most patients, would have a primary coverage. It would have maybe a primary and secondary insurance. But if you have other coverages that you want to add, we allow you to add in as many as you want, in here. You just have to pick the coverage that applies to whatever charge you're putting in. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Then we have additional information where you can enter in some more of your demographics, ethnicity and race, contact information, employer and all that. Any notes or follow-up that you want to do for the patient in here. We do allow for insurance eligibility if the clearinghouse supports it. You'll see any of the verifications that were done in the past here in this record. Any appointments that are pending or have been done would be in this record. We allow you to do attachments. I can come in here and attach or scan in basically whatever I want. Let me just. And I'm just going to say this is just a picture. So this would be saved, in his record. So you could scan in driver's license, insurance cards. If they signed a HIPAA form, you could sign anything you want to scan in. Can be attached and stored in their record. I'm not going to keep this one in here though. And then I don't know if you'll use it or not, but we have the ability to do appointment reminders where they can get phone calls, emails, or texts, when their appointments are. And this is where you can kind of tailor it to each individual patient. Want to customize, for if they have any special needs on that. So for right now, we've got this patient in. We've done his demographics and his case coverage. When I click save, it's going to go out and make sure all this data is referentially and correct within our system. And we also give you the ability to add your own rules here as well. Like let me show you I have a rule in right now that says I have to have a HIPAA date. So I just erased it. Now when I do save, it's going to come up and says, please enter the date the patient signed the HIPAA form. Okay.
Okay.
So this allows you to make sure that you have all the information that you need. If you notice right here, this is a yellow ball. This means that this is a warning, and I have the option to continue through if I really want to leave it blank, or I can cancel it and put it in. If this happened to be a red, this would be an error, and I would be required to correct it before I could save the record. So I'm going to cancel here, go back and put the HIPAA date back in. Now when I say save, I've got John Brown out in the system. Okay.
Okay.
So now he exists. Now let's say I want to make an appointment for him. I'll show you how this would work here. I come in here on my appointment scheduler, and I'm just going to knock it down to just our system here. So for Friday, I'm going to click on a time slot. This brings up the appointment entry. The patient, I knew was John Brown, so I'm going to start typing in his last name. And it brings up, I got two Browns there, but I know John is the one I just worked with, so I can click on him. It brings his information. Now the coverage case is blank because I have two of them there. So I'm going to come in here, and this is going to be primary. Appointment type, we give you a choice of setting up as many different appointment types as you would like. Right now in this demo, we just have new and established patients, and then in-office surgery and post-op. So we're gonna make him a established patient, and that just says he has a 15-minute duration. So since I said that his billing provider was Callie Blair at our facility, it fills that in here, and when I hit save, he'll then show up on the record over here. If I need to change his record at all, if say he has to come in later, I can just click and drag it down to another time, or I can, if it goes to a following week, I can open up and move it to the following week. But that's how easy it is for me to do the appointment. So at this point, I got it in. Let's go in now, and I'm going to do a responsible party payment. Let's say he's got a copay on this. So if this is my payment screen, it says we know it's coming from the responsible party, so it fills this in. Classification, again, these are ones that you can customize, but we've got some of the standard ones in. So this would be a copay. Payment method, let's just do cash today, and we'll put $20 in. And when I hit save, it's out in the system now. Now let's go up into accounts. This is where I said I can look at the same record in different formats. So I'm going to start typing Brown up there. Let me bring up his record. And you'll see now he's got a $20 credit in his account. Because we took in the copay, but we have nothing to apply it to, okay? So
right.
Here's your unapplied payment down here. Okay, now let's assume John's going to come in for, been seen by a doctor and we want to charge him out. So let's go under charges now. I'm going to create a new charge record by clicking on the hash sign or number sign. The patient I want to do, again, if I know, I can go by his first name, his last name, his birth date, his social security number, his phone number, or if I know his ID, I can type it. If I'm just going to start typing in Brown again, so let's pick him. And you'll notice my coverage case now, again, is empty because we don't know which one it is, so I'm going to put him on primary. It brings in the responsible party and all the billing and service providers here. We're doing this today, so that's my account transaction date. I go in insurance coverage service details. It brings in the insurance information. You want to give me an ICD-10 code?
Me?
Yeah. You got one that we have the entire ICD-10 table in here, so I mean, it's not that I don't know if you had anything you use.
No. Shoot.
Okay, if you just type it in.
F.
Okay, I just typed one in. Okay, F39. Now, let's go to my procedure codes. This is where I said I have over 16,000 codes in the system. I'm only going to I only show the active ones here. And if I go in and say all codes, you'll see I've got a lot of codes here which are inactive. We don't need to have all of them in the list, only the ones that you really, would use. So every code over here would have a fee schedule and a claim coding type associated with it. So on this particular one right here, I say, okay, for my default fee schedule, I'm charging $59. In this particular case, this one clinic said if their income is like under $35,000, we give them a 10% discount. So I could say that the fee schedule, I call it fee schedule 10, and we knock $6 off. Okay. So you can have multiple fee schedules for each procedure code, but all these have to be set up, by the clinic ahead of time.
So which one of those would go to the insurance company? The 10% off?
Whatever you put up the line down here. Whatever you put.
Oh.
So we're gonna come in here right now and let's do a 99, which is going to give me some office visits. Let's do the 99215. This is using the default fee schedule here, and it says that this is a $150 visit. Because he has insurance, the financial responsibility is insurance. So for right now, let's just say we've got in the ICD-10 code and the procedure code. I'm going to click save again, and again, this is where we go in and make sure that everything is correct as far as our own standards are. But we also allow you the ability to put your own charge rules in. So, for example, if Aetna required a modifier 25 for a 99215, and I don't have one here, I can put a rule in that says, okay, if the insurance company is Aetna and the procedure code is 99215, then, modifier must equal 25. And if I don't have that, I can get a message popped up and says, modifier 25 required for this, for this patient. So we allow you to add as many rules as you would like to make sure that when this charge is ready to be sent out, it's as accurate as possible.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit save right now, and this will save this out it's in the queue now to be processed. Now I'm going to go up under claim management, claim processing. I'm going to create a claim batch. We'll do it in final mode. This is production. Claim format, we have electronic. We support the UB04s for both paper and electronic. And we also allow you to force an electronic claim to paper if you require that. So in this particular case, I'm going to do it as paper because this is what we have the thing set up at. I can show you an electronic one in a little while. So we're going to use the 2012 form. We're going to process all charges that are posted and unposted, and every charge that had the process flag that was set to yes on it. And whenever you create a new charge, the process claim flag is initially set to yes. So I come down, I'm going to hit process, and we should find, well, let me just for this, I'm going to go in and I just want to do his. Like, so I can do individual claims or I can do all of a batch. But for right now, I just know that I did his. I just want to do his for right now, okay? So when I say process, it will go out and it'll bring in all the charge data. And they'll say, okay, I've got the claim process. Do you want to print it? And I say yes. This brings up our image of the 1500 form, and it shows all the data filled in with the here's our F39, here's our 99215, and everything. And then what you would do is come up there under print. You would put a piece of paper in your printer. You put the 1500 form in your printer. You would hit print, and the data gets transferred onto your form. We allow you the ability to in here on print setup and tweak some of the registration if it isn't quite lining up correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, so if I would hit print now and I had a 1500 form in, I would get a print and I could mail it off. Okay.
Do the system pre-print that red? Do the system pre-print that red and white form if you don't have a HICFA form, like just can print it on plain white paper?
We have the ability to. We have the ability to use another utility called BullZip, where you can actually print to a PDF. I can actually print the data onto another PDF, so you don't need the paper. But the HICFA form has magnetic ink on it, so it's not scannable. But if all you needed was a paper copy, we have the system. We have a way that you can actually print off the form and the data, but it's not going to be scannable by any agent you send it in. Some insurance companies just want the paper form. They don't need to scan. They just want to see it on paper. So we have the ability to do that if you need to.
Okay.
Okay, so we've gone in here and printed the form. So right now, let's go back and I'm going to refresh. This is John Brown's account. Okay. I'm going to click on this little refresh button up here. And now you see that we have a charge that was entered for $150, right?
Okay, yep.
This is an open charge. So let's go in now and let's go into payments. Let's see how I want to do this now. I'm going to do a lookup. I'm going to do a new payment ID. I'm going to do a lookup from the responsible party, and this is going to be Brown again. And let's see. I want to click on the open charge here. Let's see. I should be able to. I'm going to change this to make this an insurance payment. Let me start over on this. We're going to bring it in from the insurance company. The insurance company was Aetna, so I'm going to bring in Aetna. Transaction type is going to be a payment. Classification is going to be from primary insurance, we'll call it. Payment method, we can do check, we can do EFT, whatever comes in. We're going to call this a check, though, just for right now. So he had a $150 charge, and he has a $20 copay. So we're going to say that they paid $100. So now I can come down here, I can click on the Open Charges tab, and I'm going to look for Patient Brown. Click on them. So now I have his charge. I can click on that. It brings his charge down below. The allowed amount was 120, and they paid 100. Oops, they paid 100. So now he's got a balance of the contract write-off was 30. So we have a balance up to 20. If I come in here now and save that, okay, I entered 100 up here. If you look in the lower left-hand corner, the unapplied amount is 0. If I had a check with 15 patients on it, after I did the first one, you would see this amount would decrement by the amount paid, but until it gets to 0, then the check is still hasn't been fully processed. But we're doing one check here, so I'll save it out. Now let's go back to his accounts again. Do refresh, and now you see he's got responsible party is indeed down to 20, but he's still got a $20 unapplied payment. So I'm trying to think. There is I just put a new version in on Sunday, and there's a few things I got to learn in here, so let's just bear with it just a little bit. So it's going to be, I should be able to get. They changed a little bit on this. I should be getting an auto apply up here where it says the patient. I can auto apply it. Let me just see what they've done. Anything different? Oh, I know what I gotta do. Okay, I remember. I just brought up the payment ID. Now I can say auto apply it. So it's going to come in here and it's going to auto apply it to the remaining charge that was out there. And now the paid amount. Now the account is adjudicated. So if I save that out and I come back to his account administration, go back to the general, do a refresh. Everything is good. Now if I go to the financial details here, you can see here's the charge ID, here's the insurance payment, here's your the copay that we applied.
Okay.
So then we have on the system we have a function called outstanding check. Can't type. Space. Outstanding charge review, which will go out and show you. This shows you all of the charges that are out in the insurance company. Haven't come back in yet. And again, this is a demo, so these are all the ones that we've been playing with, where we do our demos. So these are the ones that have not yet, we haven't gotten anything back from the insurance company. So we have that report, tells you, what's outstanding. We have then we have your standard, accounts receivable, AR report, whatever. Let's do. And this one's going to be a little smaller on the screen to read, but here's all your, basically your standard AR report, whatever.
Okay.
And then we have something, it looks a little better on a system where they're actually doing it, but let me, a lot of your positions will like this one. Procedure analysis tells, what's been, what procedure, how many times you use it, you charge your payment, and everything, all this. So this report is available, for your clinic, whatever.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I pretty much showed you, the overall data flow, the registration of the patient. We're doing an appointment. We're taking a copay. We enter the charges. We generated the charge to be sent off to the clearinghouse. In this case, we did a paper one. We got back we took a copay. We got the insurance payment back. We applied the payment. And then we applied the copay. Now, the patient is now basically at a zero balance. Is there anything else in that flow that you would like to see?
Okay, yes. Say we call the insurance and we need to make a note on our account.
Okay, so let's go into let me get this down here. Going through charges now. I'm going to bring up John's again. We have here called appeals and follow-up. So you can come in here and you can say, okay, for today's date, follow-up date would be the 27th, assigned to, and you can assign it to different people. Then we have a to-do list that comes up, so that I just assigned it to this Steve Henshaw. If he were to log in, he would see that this is something that he has to work on follow-up, and once he does, he can close the account. So we have that availability in here. And again, it shows you down here, what's pertinent, to the patient. But yeah, this is where you can make notes, or you can actually, in the patient chart, we went into, I can get to his account from right here, registration information. We also have the notes and follow-up that you can put in here if you wanted.
Okay. Okay, I see. Okay.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Okay. Let me show you something else. Pardon?
That's going to be associated with that particular date of service, 7/7/2000.
Yeah, it's associated with whatever you put in there. I mean,
okay.
I just clicked on his name, and he only happened to have one charge in there. But you can put it on however many charges you want. I mean, we only have the one charge to work with, though.
Okay.
So you would put in this is the date you're doing it, and you could probably say in the reason and refer to the date of service on it if you needed to. But,